So tonight, we're excited to launch our secondary parent learning sessions. Here with us, we have one of our folks on staff who helps us coordinate these, Viviana Luera, our parent engagement coordinator. And we are happy to have our partner at Napa Valley College here this evening, Christine Tapia. She is a manager in charge of dual enrollment and educational partnerships. During our time listening and learning when we were coming out to different stakeholder groups to listen around, how can we better support students with meeting their A to G requirements? An interest arose in supporting students with better and families with a better understanding around dual enrollment. And so this evening's presentation will help our families and our students with that. This is information that is also shared by counselors in the coming months as they register students. So it's timely information prior to the registration process and as you plan for summer. So with that, we are happy to partner with Napa Valley College, and I will turn it over to Christine Tapia.
Great. Thank you, Monica. Welcome everyone to the Secondary Parent Information Series, and Napa Valley College is really pleased to be part of this really important event for parents and for our students. So as Monica mentioned, my name is Christine Tapia and I manage the dual enrollment program at Napa Valley College. So I'm really grateful to be here tonight to share some really important information with all of you and perhaps, answer some questions that you probably have or your students may have brought up. Okay, so let me see, sharing my screen. First, I want to thank Monica and Viviana for really being instrumental in putting this event together and for inviting Napa Valley College. As you will see on the next slide, these are the topics that I hope to be able to cover tonight, and I also always like to leave room for questions afterwards, and I believe you have the ability to do so via Q&A. Okay. So just a little bit about Napa Valley College. So as you can see, Napa Valley College was founded in 1942, some 80 years ago. And we were originally founded as part of the Napa Valley Unified School District. So not very many people know this. So that relationship and partnership with the Unified School District has been there for a very, very long time. And it's one that we continue to enjoy to this day. Right. That photo that you see there is an undated photo from one of our very first college graduations when we were still housed in the NVUSD campus on Jefferson and Lincoln. So we don't exactly know what year that was, but it was at the NVUSD and NVUSD grounds. So in 1982, some 40 years ago, we were named Napa Valley College, and since then have received some accolades and some recognitions. One of the most important for us is as a Hispanic serving institution, since almost 50% of our total student population identify as Hispanic or Latino. So this is really great for the college as a whole because of the funding that we received for this distinction. We've also been recognized as one of the best California community colleges by Best Colleges and the Aspen Institute fairly recently. So it really started from an idea that former school superintendent and our founding college president, Dr. Harry McPherson, had about an observation that he had in Napa, where Napans needed good jobs. And in order to get good jobs, they needed good education. And that was really the inspiration for establishing a college level institution as an extension of the Unified School District 80 years ago. Okay. Napa Valley College is also one of 116 California community colleges. And this system is the biggest in the United States. So we have the most two-year colleges in the United States in California. And we have a chancellor's office in Sacramento that really gives us our purpose. And this is a purpose that makes sure that our programs and services serve all students from all backgrounds. And our programs and services also assist them in reaching their goals to help improve their families and their communities. So it really goes beyond getting good grades in the classroom. We want to provide them with the skills and training to be able to give back to their communities. So Napa Valley College, we have a wide variety of programs and services of academic programs, and we group them in what we call exploration pathways. So this idea really comes from the student, it has the student in mind, where a student expresses an interest, a very general interest, whether it's the arts or business or nursing or sciences or cultures, right? And we take that interest and we consider what their goals are for coming to Napa Valley College, and we put them on a pathway where they have a wide variety of programs of study, majors, degrees, and certificates. Each of these pathways have a success team to make sure that the student is successful through their journey at the college. It is made up of faculty members, college counselors, and college staff who help the students with the enrollment process and the transfer process if they continue on to a four-year university. And these pathways also interconnect so that if a student decides after their first semester at the college or first year at the college that they want to shift majors, that they don't lose the time and momentum to do that. And then we have a sixth informal pathway that you don't see here, and that is called general studies for students who may not be quite ready to declare a major or a pathway of study when they come to Napa Valley College. And that's perfectly fine. So we have a pathway for any type of student who comes to us. Now, we start these pathways in high school, as Monica mentioned, and that is through a dual enrollment program. So dual enrollment is really a great opportunity for students to take community college classes while they're still in high school. I can talk so much about the benefits of dual enrollment, but these are just some of them. And it's that the student is able to take college classes and use them to complete their high school requirements for their high school diploma. It gives them an introduction to college, especially for students who are first in their families to attend college or think about attending college. It's a great introduction to the world of college, the college culture, how they interact with their professors, classmates, and other support staff on college. They can also receive credit towards a college degree or certificate. The number of students who are getting college certificates and college associate's degrees at the same time that they graduate with a high school diploma is really steadily increasing. And many classes are offered on the high school campus. So we don't, we bring the offerings to the students in most of the cases. And so they don't have to think about how to get to the main campus or how to get home to log on to an online class. And perhaps one of the most important reasons is that it is really a free opportunity. Now, many people don't believe it, but it is really true. And that is because of the California Promise grants and scholarships from the state that allows community colleges like Napa Valley College to offer students 2 years free of college. No tuition fees, no fees for books or materials. So they really come to college and they're able to make it because they don't have to think about the financial burden of paying for all of those fees. And we know that for some of us who've gone to college, how expensive that can be. Right. Now at Napa Valley College, we have different types of dual enrollment. And this is very much in alignment with what we do in California and the United States. So there is a type which is concurrent enrollment where a student chooses to select a course or number of courses from our college catalog and they self-navigate the enrollment process. Either they log on by themselves or they come to campus and enroll for the classes. These classes are open enrollment, so that means that they are in the classroom with a diversity of classmates, they're taught by college instructors. And for these types of classes, sometimes the student is required to pay for textbooks or materials fees. Although the college is really moving towards something called we call the open educational resources, which are free college resources, free textbooks for our students, because we recognize that the cost of textbooks and educational materials can really add up, right? The second type of dual enrollment is called college and career access pathways. And this is probably the most popular type of dual enrollment that we have at the college. These are popular because of the model that we bring to the high school campus. So instead of asking a student to log in online or come to the Napa Valley main campus, we bring the courses to their high school campuses. So they take the courses with their peers, with their classmates in high school. We send a specialist to help them with the full application process. So someone actually like does the registration for them. It's taught by their high school teacher, so they're familiar with this instructor. They have already built, relationships with them. It's not someone who they have to figure out like who is this new professor that I have to like work with. And for these types of dual enrollment classes, it's completely free, so no tuition, and the books or materials are covered typically by the high school district, right? Now, there's a third type of not quite dual enrollment, but of early college credit, and this is called high school articulation. So this course, like TCAP, is held at the high school campus and taught by a high school teacher. The difference here is that these classes are high school classes, which we've determined are somewhat similar or aligned with a college course. And so a student takes them through the course of a year. And at the end of that year, they take an exam. And once they pass that exam, they get credit for that college class, the similar college class. And we also send a specialist to help them with the registration process for these types of courses. We have a few of these too with our agreement with Napa Valley Unified School District. Okay, this is just a comparison of the three types of early college credit programs that we have at Napa Valley College. And this is actually a screenshot from our Napa Valley College Dual Enrollment Handbook for students and parents, which I believe you'll have access to at the end of after this presentation as well. Now let's look at numbers, because we want to show that, really Napa Valley Unified School District is doing really well compared to state and national numbers. About 10 years ago, these numbers were not like this, but as of 2022, there are a lot of studies that show that 1 out of 5 high school students in the United States take college classes. So they are dual enrollment classes. It's really gaining a lot of popularity among high school students. And in California, 1 out of 10 high school students take college classes. So it's still a pretty good number. So about 10% of our total high school population. But here in Napa Valley Unified School District, 2 out of 10 high school students take college classes. So we're actually doing much better than your state and national averages. And I think, I believe that is because of programs like our CCAP, dual enrollment, where we meet the students where they need to be met at their high school campuses. And that's the reason why these programs are really popular among our high school students. Okay. As far as numbers, when we started in 2019 with our first few agreements, we started very small, just about 5 classes, and it's now grown to about 20 classes across different high schools. And you can see the differences in numbers. We started out with just a little over 100 students, and now we're over 500, and that number continues to grow every semester. So to the right of your screen, you can see some of the classes that were offered last fall at the various high schools that they were offered in. And what's great about these classes is that they do not only fulfill the high school graduation requirement for those schools, they are also credits towards a certificate or associate's degree at Napa Valley College. And in a lot of cases, these courses also transfer to University of California or California State University School, because we have transfer agreements with those systems. So you can really see that just one course makes a difference in terms of their high school their community college and four-year university experiences. So really kind of fast tracks that journey for a student to be able to get a degree, whether it's a certificate, whether it's an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. And then in terms of CCAP, this is really where our students really shine. You can see that 9 out of 10 students completed with a grade of C or better, which is the passing grade for college level coursework. And almost 10 out of 10 students stay in the class and finish their CCAP classes. They're doing so much better than the students who just self-navigate, or even compared to college-age students who are taking the same classes. Our high school students who are in CCAP programs tend to do much better than they do. Okay. So I've shared some benefits of dual enrollment, but these are just like part of some of the results from national studies where it really shows that students who enroll in dual enrollment college classes tend to graduate high school, are more likely to graduate high school, continue on to college after high school, and have a higher rates of completing a college degree or certificate. So these are kind of the advantages where you can see that, you know, the students who are dually enrolled are 12% more likely to graduate high school. 7% of them are more likely to earn a bachelor's degree within the their 6 years of college. And in terms of costs and savings, and this is based on a year's tuition for a typical community college student who holds a full load, 4 classes, right? So about every year that your student is in a dual enrollment class, you save about $3,000, a little over $3,000 a year, which is pretty significant because it can go towards other things, right? Right. Other benefits of dual enrollment, aside from what I've previously mentioned about the savings and time and money, it's good to provide an opportunity where our students can learn how to be college students before they even get to college. There is a lot of adjustment that happens during a student's first semester of college, and a lot of the times these adjustments can contribute to a student not being able to do as well as they thought they would. And so that dual enrollment eliminates that for the student because it's like an orientation and introduction to college. And another great benefit is that they can earn certificates that qualify towards high-paying careers, because dual enrollment is not just for the student who is thinking of maybe moving on and transferring to a 4-year school, or maybe in the future getting a master's degree. These are also for students who are career focused, who want to get a job in a really good, stable industry after college or after high school. As an example, you know, we have a welding program at the college, a really popular program, and we have a 6-week welding boot camp that we do in the summer. It's really popular with high school students. In fact, I think half of the students enrolled last summer were high school students from Napa Valley Unified School District. And at the end of those 6 weeks, the students take an exam administered by the American Welder Society. And if they pass that, they not only get a certification from AWS, they also get a welding certificate from the college. And they can start applying to entry-level welding jobs with these certificates and start earning about $70,000 the first year that they are working, which is really significant for students who are 18, just straight out of like high school, and can see and already have that foot in the door of a really stable, good industry of work. And then not only that, not only do we provide them with the opportunity to take classes and get a certificate, we also want to make sure that they are supported throughout that journey. So a high school student, even though they might still be in high school, as long as they're taking college classes at Napa Valley College, they have access to a wide range of student supports and resources. And we'll kind of like talk about that in a little bit. Now, you probably have a lot of questions because normally when I do this in front of students, they have a lot of questions about dual enrollment. So in terms of who can take dual enrollment classes, any high school student, as long as they have the permission of their parent or guardian, their high school counselor, and their principal, can enroll in a college class. So they no longer have that limit. Now, for Napa Valley College, if your student is under 15 years old, they're not at the sophomore year yet, they require a meeting with our Dean of Enrollment and Outreach Services just to make sure that they're given the expectations, right? They know, they understand what they're committing to when they take college classes. So, but that's just like one small step. And in terms of what classes a dual enrollment student can take, any course really that a student is interested in, or they want to use it for both high school credit and college credit, they can petition to take, so long as they have the permission of their parents, counselor, and principal, and they've completed any prerequisites if there are any prerequisites. In terms of registering for classes, some dual enrollment students have the advantage of being able to register for classes earlier than their classmates if they are in a CCAP program, because there is priority given to them and a specialist works with them to complete their enrollment documentation. Now, can undocumented students participate in dual enrollment? So the answer is yes. So there is a provision where our DACA and DREAMER students are able to participate in dual enrollment and not have to pay any non-resident tuition fees. So Napa Valley College has a policy and a process so that a student can complete a financial aid application. And if they are determined as AB 540 eligible, we don't require them to pay any fees at all when taking dual enrollment classes. Can homeschooled, independent study, non-credit, or adult education students participate in dual enrollment? So yes, thanks to a change in legislation in 2020, it has expanded to include students who are probably in either non-credit or adult education settings where they're trying to earn a high school diploma or a GED. So the tuition waiver, so they don't have to pay for anything, also applies to those students. Now, what should students and parents need to know before participating in dual enrollment? There's quite a few, so we're gonna look at that in the next few slides. So this is a good reminder that when your high school student is taking a college class, even if it is in their high school, these are college classes. So the students and their parents really have to be mindful that some of the content is meant for college age students, which are typically your 18-year-old and older students. So some of the topics and course materials may be designed for adults. So this is something that you want to talk to your student or you have to talk to their high school counselor about before they make a decision to enroll in a college class. And it's also important to recognize the students' commitments. Our students have a lot on their plate sometimes. They have a full load in high school, right? And then some of them have athletics on top of that, or they're in clubs, or they have part-time jobs, or in a lot of cases, they may help with, taking care of younger siblings or older relatives at home. So you really want to make sure that taking on another commitment, such as a college class, wouldn't cost them additional stress. You want to make sure that they maintain that school life balance that is really important for their student success. So at the college, we like to kind of put it in this perspective that for college classes, for every hour that a student is in the classroom, they are expected to spend 2 hours of outside of classroom time to read, do homework, and to study. So you can kind of see it on the gray box here where a class, one college class, which is typically 3 units or it's 3 hours a week in the classroom, multiply it by 2, then so the student is expected to spend 6 hours a week doing homework, reading for that class. So for one college class, the student is really expected to spend about 9 hours of total study time per week. And that's just one class. So you want to take this into perspective as your student is thinking about taking dual enrollment classes and talking to you about what they want to do, what they want to study, because it really is fairly rigorous. It's a workload issue for some of the students, especially if they try to take more than one college class every semester. In terms of grades, any student who completes a dual enrollment class, their grades become part of a permanent student record in their college transcript. Now, college transcripts, they're hard to change, and they follow you when you transfer to a four-year school, or if you are applying for a job that requires you to present a college transcript as part of your application. And in some cases, even if a student decides to pursue graduate studies and get a master's degree, any grade that they earn as a dual enrollment student is on their Napa Valley College transcript. So because it's on the transcript, sometimes it could have an impact to a student's ability to receive financial aid. So if you have a student who is taking dual enrollment classes and they transfer to Napa Valley College or any community college after high school, you want to make sure that they're talking with their financial aid office to make sure that they're not getting negatively impacted by the courses that they took as dual enrollment students. And I mentioned this before, some of the students, depending on the dual enrollment class, they may be responsible for textbooks and supplies. And then if they take the classes at the main campus or a different location other than their high school, they're required to, figure out how to get to that location. And then meals while attending courses at the college campus. We have some resources to assist with that, but these are some considerations that we have to be mindful of if your student is considering taking college classes.
Can I clarify one point here for the college courses on the high school campus? So earlier in the presentation, you shared that the courses that are offered by staff at the high school who are also approved through the college, those courses that are a part of the agreement, the books and the resources and supplies are covered by NVUSD.
Yes.
Thank you.
If they are taking the classes at their high school as part of that agreement, NVUSD covers them. Now, if they're taking classes outside of the bell schedule, so after 3:30, or they're taking classes at the Napa Valley College campus or online, which are not CCAP classes, they are going to be responsible for any of these expenses that may be associated with those classes. There are some resources to support them with financial aid, with like textbook waivers, but for the most part, the tuition is the one that is covered for non-CCAP classes.
And then do you want me to wait to talk about putting it on their transcript of the high school till the end?
Yeah,
or
no,
on appropriate time?
yeah.
So students can also put their, because it's dual enrolled, for students who take courses outside of the courses that are offered by staff at the high school can opt to have their course put on their transcript. And so students who would like to do this have to request their transcript from the college and then take that to the student services office at their high school who can help them with that. They don't have to, but they can. Thanks, Christine, for letting me step in.
Thank you. And that's actually a good lead into FERPA, which is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So what is FERPA, right? So when it comes to dual enrollment, it complicates the whole FERPA idea a little bit. But basically, FERPA is a law that protects the student and their educational records. As long as your student is a minor, a parent can have access to those records at the high school that they're attending. But as a minor, when a student starts taking college classes, the rights transfer to the student on the college side of things. So thankfully, with the Unified School District and Napa Valley College, our agreements cover data sharing. And so we oftentimes will share information about the student records, their grades and all of that for credit purposes, as Monica mentioned. But the parents can only access through FERPA any information about the student's academic record as long as they're held by their high school. If a parent contacts our college instructor and asks about their student's performance or what grade they're getting in the exam, our college instructors are actually by law restricted from providing that information because of this law. Now, the only way a parent of a student under 18 can access their educational records that are held by the college is if the student waives their FERPA rights. So they can do so in writing and submit it to our admissions and records office so that we have it on file that they are allowing their parent or guardian to access their college records as part of, dual enrollment. But you want to facilitate, if your student is taking college class, you want to facilitate that conversation at home too about making sure that, they're sharing their progress with you, they're asking for support if necessary, so that we don't have to get into, documents and all of that. Okay. Now, there's some questions that we often get from students and parents alike about, how does dual enrollment compare to AP or advanced placement? What's better, right? Should I take one or the other? How do they enroll in college classes? And what supports and resources are available to them? So AP or dual enrollment, obviously as a manager of a dual enrollment program, I will always promote dual enrollment. But the choice of whether your student should take AP or dual enrollment or a combination of both is really dependent on the student's goal and also the institution that they want to transfer to after high school or after community college. There are some differences, but the biggest difference is that, with dual enrollment, the students take a course and they are assigned a grade at the end of that course. And that's what makes it into their record with the college or the college transcript. With advanced placement, the students have to take an exam. These exams are typically about $100 each. The amount varies depending on the subject and the type, I believe. And then they have to pass that exam to be able to get credit, AP credit. With dual enrollment, especially for a California community college, those courses, they don't need to repeat that. Should they transfer to a University of California or a California State University school, they automatically get counted as part of that credit. And they are taught by college instructors, and typically they're no cost or low cost. Advanced placement, different colleges determine how they want to handle AP. They're taught by their high school teacher, but it's also nationally accepted. So if your student decides to go out of state, enroll in a school out of state for college, their school of choice could, it's not a guarantee, but they could and will more likely look at their AP credits as well. But in terms of like both, the benefits of both is that the students are exposed to college level curriculum. In a lot of cases, there's an extra point in terms of their GPA, and it's a really good opportunity to get advanced early college credit. Now, when you've considered this, you've had a conversation with your student and they say they want to enroll at Napa Valley College or for college courses as dual enrollment students, these are the steps that they should follow. And at step 5, this is where, parent guidance comes in, because you have to sign off on any college classes that the student wants to take, along with their high school counselor and their principal. And then resources, because we don't just give students the opportunity to take classes, we also want to make sure that they are successful. So these are just some of the resources that are available at Napa Valley College for students, even though they're still in high school. So what's great about dual enrollment is that they have access to their high school resources and also resources at the college, right? So students with a 504 or IEP plan, we have a DSPNS office that can help them get accommodations or sometimes even assistive technology Like say if a student needs a reader, we can loan them software that they can bring home and use for their college classes. Financial aid, the federal financial aid, NVC Promise, the California Dream Act, and a lot of scholarships. Students can also go through a work-study program if they want to work at the college while they're still in school. We have a basic needs center where students can obtain 2 to 3 bags of fresh groceries every month for free. So they don't have to pay anything into it. And it's through a CalFresh grant that we have at the college. And an express food pantry, because sometimes your students are just rushing from one class to another, rushing from one campus to another, and they forget, they're hungry. They can just go to our food pantry and grab some healthy snacks on the way. Okay? In a student health center, basic primary care, COVID testing, flu shots, and a really cool new tool that we have, which is a Timely MD app, which is a 24/7 mental health support with counselors and therapists for all of our students. And then just some of a few resources, they have access to tutoring, math, English, chemistry, assistance with writing papers, and these are available in person and online as well. If they are job seekers, our career center can help them with writing their resume, helping them prepare for interviews and all that. Our McCarthy Library students can come to the library to study. We have great study rooms. We have a computer lab. They can print papers, or if they need better technology, they can also borrow for every semester a laptop and a Wi-Fi hotspot. And then our Welcome Center always is available for enrollment assistance and campus tours, not just for students, but for families who are interested in Napa Valley, going to Napa Valley College as well. And perhaps one of the most exciting things we have coming up is the development of River Trail Village. So that's the picture you see on the right. It is our 588-bed campus housing complex with single and family dwelling units. And what's great about this is that it really is needs-based. So a student, all they have to do is complete a financial aid application, and we determine it based on who needs housing the most, and offer the units to them way below market price. So they're still finalizing some market pricing, but it is a pretty significant savings in terms of housing costs, especially here in Napa, in the city of Napa. We begin leasing the units in fall of this year, and it will be open in time for the 2024-2025 academic year. So please watch out for any information about that. That's really exciting, and we're very excited to have that as an addition to our campus. Okay, so I want to say thank you before we get into Q&As, and hope to see you and your students at our campus. My contact information is there. If you want to connect and you have any more questions about dual enrollment or any programs at Napa Valley College, you are more than welcome to contact me via email, phone call, or text. And also, if I can ask, for a super short survey, we can provide this link in the QR after to let us know how we did, if there's any topics that you want to want us to cover for the next time. And also, if you want to be contacted by Napa Valley College for any events or activities or information, if you want to be added on that list, you can do so using that link as well. Okay. Stop sharing my screen.
Thank you so much, Christine. And we'll open it up for questions. Before we do, I just want to welcome Assistant Superintendent Andrew Jennings, who's joined us as well. But for questions, if you raise your hand using the raise hand button, our Megan will help us make sure that you are able to unmute, and we can answer any follow-up questions you may have this evening.
Okay, up first is TG.
Hi, hello, good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good evening, we can.
Okay. First, I'd like to say hi to Miss Andrew Jennings, Penny Cook in the house. Hello, it's nice to see you. I wanted to ask, I have a freshman now who will be a sophomore next year. We are considering having her take one class, try out one class this summer. She is 14. She will be 15 probably after it starts, but just later in June. So what is the process there? I know you said that she had to go through a meeting with the dean or something.
Yes, that's correct. So all of our dual enrollment students have to complete an application, and then you have to complete the special permit as a parent, and you'll get that after the application is completed. However, they won't be able to register for classes unless until they have received clearance from the Dean of Enrollment and Outreach Services. I can provide information on how to do that once you've completed the application. I mean, it's really very simple. The meeting's usually a phone call or Zoom. Our administrative assistant in admissions and records sets it all up. It's just that, to just ask, why they're choosing to enroll in college at such a young age. But it's not unusual for students under 15 to do so. We have an increasing number of under 15 students who are taking college classes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Ty. Tell me, Madison and Mason. I said hi, hello.
Oh, I will do so. Madison is here. She can hear you, and I'll tell
Okay.
Mason. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, next up is Karina Cervente.
Hi, thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome.
I have a couple of questions. I wonder if I was told by the Dean of Athletic Enrollment at Diablo Valley College that middle school students would be able to be in dual enrollment. I wonder if you can add that to your presentation next time and perhaps invite the middle school parents that are interested in this great resource for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so my next question, in the past, before COVID, the classes that were provided at the high school were really classes that were not really I don't want to be mean, but they were like classes that were not really worth taking. I wonder if that has changed now, and what are the classes that are being there are students are able to take at the high school? Are they like English and math classes that they can really get ahead of the game, or just like general ed classes that are not perhaps not gonna really help them?
So Christine, do you want me to take the high school ones first and then? Okay.
Go ahead.
So currently we have courses offered at each of our high schools that are taught by our high school staff. This is really dependent upon their ability to meet the criteria by the academic senate at the college and for credentialing to serve in that role. So currently those are mainly math classes. You see Napa Valley College statistics at Vintage and calculus at Napa High School. I need to look at ACHS. Christine, remind me.
Yeah, I'm more interested on the ACHS because I have no way to take my kid to the other school. So that's the information I really need, because my kid is an incoming high schooler, and this is something we want to take advantage of. But also, if the middle schoolers are able to take this, advantage of this as well, I wish I knew.
So when we look at these here, these are some of the ones that were offered in the fall. So you can see at ACHS, the voice one, the intro to hospitality, the sanitation and safety, and the introduction to business. The courses that are taught by our staff are limited based off of their credentialing, but Christine can speak more to other courses that are offered outside of the ones that are taught by our staff.
Right. So we are really trying to expand our offerings. Our goal, and this is something that Monica and I have talked about, is that we really want to be able to offer a pretty good pathway for students, to a certificate perhaps, or get their like GEs out of the way, so that when they transfer to college, all they have to focus on are the majors courses, which are hard to enroll in. We are currently, I can't speak to the actual classes that we're going to be offered in the summer and the next academic year. We are still working on those. Our summer schedule will be out around April, and then in May we'll have our fall schedule. But if we base our list of classes, we want to make sure that we have student feedback for them. So my typical process is that we ask the principals and the counselors to get student voice and ask them, what are you interested in? How can we make that happen? And then we talk, as partners, we talk with our districts to see what we can realistically offer. My position is fairly new to the college. I'm only in this, I'm a little under a year. So Tuesday is my first year on the job. But that is the goal moving forward for the partnership, is that we're really being very intentional and mindful of what we offer at different sites, and every site has a different need and different potential. So and what our goal is too, is that we want to make sure that everyone is informed well ahead of time, so that it can inform their decisions, especially if you have a student coming out of middle school, right, going into high school, and they want to participate in this during their first year of high school. We want to make sure that they know that.
And I think one way that, Karina, I would, if you could make sure to fill out that survey, we do
Yes.
look at that survey data and we'll review that.
Yeah.
So that we can look at beyond our own staff, how we can provide those courses in the MVC classes at American Canyon High School or other places. For example, we've done some surveying of New Tech High School and expanded there for this coming spring, and that was all based on the feedback. So
Yeah. I like what Ms. Tapia said. Thank you. I only knew about this meeting about 10 to 15 minutes before it started, and I jumped in. So perhaps in future meetings, send a parent square to the middle school 8th graders, or so
thank you.
the
Yeah, thank you
incoming.
for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that feedback. We'll look at the middle school piece when it comes to these and see if we can get clear about messaging about who it's for as we launch our series.
Thank you.
Okay, up next is Sylvia Regalado Zaclod.
Hi, good evening. Just want to say thank you so much for this presentation and the information you provided. It's been really beneficial. And I also want to give you a very enthusiastic piece of feedback with regards to the website and the way that it's been redesigned for dual enrollment. It is so much more user-friendly. So thank you so much for that. What I'd like to ask, and I think this was asked a little bit in the previous comment, was how can we as parents or our students provide some feedback with courses that we would like to see offered at the secondary sites, especially where there are dedicated rooms that could support that. I think, we sometimes find a challenge with the elective courses that are offered and want to use that space to really enhance students' learning on campus, especially for those of us that are in American Canyon. It is a little bit of a drive. I would also like to ask about what plans or to maybe plan to seed with regards to what kind of summer programming is available, whether it be at the college or at the sites like American Canyon High School that has space available, college classes available, or classrooms, pardon me, classrooms available, because the kids are often looking for things that they're able to engage in during the summer. And unfortunately, I discovered last summer that the offerings at the time at the college were just really minimal. And so if there could be some thought that could be given to how we can further enrich students through their learning in summer, that would be fantastic. I know that I've got a little bit of a span in range of kids, and something like a summer program for kids at the college or here locally would be fantastic too, as we're looking at ways to further support students and getting them involved in the college piece. And then, yeah, so if you could, circling back to my question, is how can we ensure that some of those courses are offered, whether, for example, in our case, it would be like a specific language that maybe isn't offered throughout the year, or another class like that. Thank you.
So I'll put back up before we leave, and then we'll send back out in the family newsletter and we can get this out to the sites as well, the QR code with the feedback. And I think looking at a couple of those questions, any overall feedback for the event or any other topics you're interested in, those 2 questions are on there. Please feel free to say, if it's okay with Christine, I'm going to dialogue a little bit back and forth with you right now. Is it okay for them to put their feedback in one of those sections, and we can review it as we renew our CCAP agreement?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way for us to know, as partners, like what the need is out there and what the interest, and it's good leverage for me too, to bring back to my colleagues at the college to have a conversation about, what our students really want and need. In terms of, I'm really glad you brought up summer programming, because it's something that we're looking at expanding as well. We have, summer is typically hard because our full-time faculty are off contract, but that also means that it gives our other faculty members the opportunity to really kind of like take ownership of a lot of the classes. We have partnerships with the Unified School District, Napa Valley Education Foundation, where we have summer internship programs that actually articulate to college classes. So if you remember that piece about high school articulation, students who participate in that are eligible to receive college credit. So these are really kind of like cool things that we have coming up. And we are slowly developing and really trying to grow summer programming beyond high school. We want to try to see, maybe not this summer, but in future summers, offerings for middle school, elementary school, kind of like a college summer camp type programming, which is something that our new superintendent president, Dr. Powell, is really interested in seeing if we can do that, especially when we open up housing, because we expect that families will be much closer to campus than they normally have been. So a lot of this programming will come as we determine kind of like what the foot traffic on at the Napa Valley College campus will look like. But yes, thank you for the feedback. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you find the website much more user friendly. It has been a labor of love from our public communications office, and also these are great conversations that I'm happy to bring back to my colleagues about looking at more robust summer programming.
And the 2 other things, Sylvia, if there's not, if someone who is interested, or their students interested, they weren't able to attend tonight, they can always email their site. We check in as we develop the CCAP agreement, we meet with the principals and talk about the interest that's coming from students. So if there's other interest coming, please feel free to reach out to your site directly and share that. You can always CC me as well in that email of interest. And then Christine, did I hear correctly, around April is when summer programming will be released?
Yes.
Is that right?
Okay. Around April we're finalizing our summer schedule right now. We're like in the second draft of it. So I would actually say end of March, early April for summer, and then May for our fall 2023 schedule.
Okay, and we can make sure to get that out to our families as well and share through some of our channels, our communication channels.
We can look at some kind of creative marketing materials so that our parents know what's out there at the various campuses, or what's new.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like we don't have any other hands at this time.
Thank you, Megan. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you to Viviana for helping us with our parent series and connecting with our parent liaisons at the sites around this, to our assistant superintendent for joining us this evening, and for the partnership that we have with Napa Valley College that we look forward to growing as you're here tonight to help serve our students. I also just want to take a moment and congratulate our students. Some of that data is really impressive, and thank our families who are on, who have students who are supporting them through that process. And we look forward to supporting more students with that. Our next parent series next month will actually focus on summer programming. So we welcome you to come back. This was our first in the series, and we look forward to having one a month for our middle school and high school families, and look for that information in our family newsletter. Also, thank you to our interpreter this evening. And with that, we will close out for the evening. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next month.